And you know what, Sarah, for viewers who might not have followed every twist of this saga, remind us, why is James Comey such a central figure in the long-running feud between Donald Trump and the FBI?
Yeah, James Comey, Leanne, really personifies all of President Trump's main grievances with the FBI. So if you cast your minds back to 2016, you had this extremely critical presidential election. There was an investigation headed by James Comey and the FBI into alleged Russian interference in the presidential election and whether President Trump's campaign colluded on that. Now, for President Trump, for his supporters here in the US, that inquiry in and of itself was seen as a major betrayal. President Trump has often framed this as a deep state plot against him. However, for critics of this indictment that has been brought against James Comey, they are saying that this is not justice, that this is revenge. This is President Trump going after his political opponents. And what's really explosive about this case, Leanne, is not just the indictment on those federal charges itself, but the way that this came about. Now, the US attorney in Virginia who had pushed back against bringing these charges, he resigned. Then you had brought in Lindsay Halligan. She was installed. Now, she is a former Trump lawyer. She is not someone who has prosecutorial experience. And what you've got here in the US right now is career prosecutors saying, there are issues with some of these charges. The evidence seems weak. Indeed, one of the charges that went before the grand jury was dropped. So even before we've heard any evidence, there's a lot of political theatre around this. Interestingly, President Trump was questioned a little earlier on today as he left the White House. The reporter saying to him, who else is on the list? Who's next on the list for retribution? President saying, well, there is no list, but there will be others. He's making it very clear. He does think that it is worth going after other people potentially involved in this issue that has caused him such grievance. He pushed back at the reporter saying that it is justice, it's not revenge. But Leanne, many critics, as I said, here in the US, seeing this as exactly that, an act of revenge against Trump's political opponents. And James Comey is just the first of what it seems, according to the president, might be many more.